Hello everyone and welcome to a special edition of Suplexes and Microphones. I'm Joe, with me is our guest host Caleb, and if you don't recognize the two guys in front of us, you probably aren't well versed in pro wrestling. This is Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express.
Hi Ricky.
Hi Rob.
What's up?
It's such an honor to have you guys here. Honestly, I've watched you guys from when I was a kid. I was wearing the bandanas, jumping on the trampoline, pretending I was Robert, and my best friend Brian was Ricky.
Wow.
And we took sandbags out, and then eventually we asked some people to come along, let us slam them too. So you guys, I can't tell you how much this means to me. First thing I want to start off with, you guys got these rings on. Hall of Fame.
Cool.
Tell us how. Can you stand up and show that tattoo?
Robert, break me in two.
So obviously a huge achievement, well deserved, well earned. Tell us how it felt to get that phone call.
Well, man, gosh, you got to understand when you dedicate your life to this business, and what was really cool about it is when they did call, man, because you never expected. Robert and I were never really big in the WWE, but in our business we were. Being a big part of that, I mean, gosh, it was mind-blowing, really. They called Robert first, and then he called me, and actually I cried. Is that the only thing? I did. Is to know and to know when they tell you that WWE here, we want our Hall of Fame to be legit, and our Hall of Fame cannot be legit unless we have a Rock and Roll Express in it. And what a compliment of that alone.
I agree. How about you, Robert?
Oh, like I said, the phone call was great. You know, we worked hard, been all over the world, sacrificed a lot of things, and to be inducted was awesome, a really big part.
Absolutely. Caleb, you want to ask a couple questions about some of the rivalries and?
Yeah, definitely. Before we get into that, on the subject of Hall of Fame, so Jim Cornette inducted you guys.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk a little bit about that, about y'all's relationship with him over the years, and how that came about for him to induct you guys?
Who would have thought about Jim Cornette inducting us anyway, right? That was kind of weird, but he did a good job, and I tell you, we watched Cornette, his career coming up. He had to learn how to fight, because fans got rough. And usually a manager's sitting around the ring and watching the matches. I've been in a lot of arenas where he had to turn his back to the ring and watch the fans because they were crazy. So Jim Cornette, he can thank us.
Well, man, Jimmy Cornette, he's one of the special people in our business. One of the greatest managers, man, he had a bunch of them, but Jimmy's up there at the top of them. You got to understand, we know Jimmy for a long time, even before he even got into the business. We watched him as he come along, and gosh, this is, Robert and I, we have been wrestling partners. Let me get that straight now. Wrestling partners for 35 years, and a lot of people, over those years, man, the experience, we made history with the Midnight Express. I know also with Jimmy Cornette, with Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, Dennis Condrey. Matter of fact, I was out front a while ago, and the guy said, "Man, I remember when I watched you on TV." He said, "I've been watching you for 35 years." I was like, "Man, won't you turn the channel?" But it's just a special business. Man, it's Vince McMahon calling me right now. I don't know about you.
Call and collect?
Yeah, I gotta tell him I can't make Monday Night Raw. If you don't mind, can I take this up?
Go ahead.
Vince, I can't make Monday Night Raw. Okay? Okay. You know what? I'm live on a TV show right now. The camera's looking right at me.
You heard it here first.
The phone is ringing, and I'm too busy to make Monday Night Raw. Okay? Call me back. I'll call you back later, and we can set up a date then. No, really, this is I'm not like for y'all to hear this. This is my wife. Look here. Yes, sweetheart, I will bring that milk home. Yeah, baby, I love you too. Bye. Sorry, guys, but I like that. This is real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's get back to what we were talking about. I mean, it's Robert and I may have been in here. Actually, we both come from wrestling families.
Yep.
In the years of that, but when you, can you believe that? I'm telling you, dude, I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. Now to get on with that, you know, Jimmy Cornette's he's an icon in our business. Bobby Heenan, we just lost him.
Yeah.
You know, Bobby Heenan's one of the first guys to ever give me a break in the business. You know, I was working small territories, but since we was doing that, we're talking about managers. That's why I went into that. Go ahead.
In terms of, you know, you mentioned earlier that you guys have worked at all different promotions. I mean, you see these days, you know, they'll put a guy from the 90s on the flyer and it'll say WWE, you know, WCW, TNA Superstar. If they listed all the places that you guys have worked, it would be the whole flyer.
That's great, man.
So, I mean, has that ever come into play? I mean, have you ever had to peek out and be like, let me see where we're at tonight, you know, with working so many different places?
And not being rude or being mean, and I'm just going to tell you the truth, guy. You know, Robert and I are still very active in business. And to tell you, we don't know. You know, dude, I was in Harlan, Kentucky last night, and I don't know the name of the wrestling. I don't. And it's not being mean, but you know, the major NWA that we stood for in WWE, that's cool, but it's not being rude. It's just that we still wrestle, still very active in our business. And yeah, we look at a lot of times wondering where we at. I sure do.
Yeah.
And you think about it, and it's good to see some of these guys from those WWE. You know, our business has changed over the years. And we was talking earlier about Jimmy Cornette putting us into the Hall of Fame. You know, I'm not here to insult anybody's intelligence. You know, we're in the entertainment business, but the entertainment business is the hardest business in the world, guys. The injuries, the hurting, the pain, the traveling, nobody can even understand or even know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, let me ask you something. You guys are tag team experts. There's no one that does tag team psychology like you guys. What's the difference in the tag teams we see on Monday Night Raw and other shows now and what you guys did and still do? What's the biggest difference?
Well, it's like me and Ricky was lucky. He's in the ring, or if I'm in the ring, we just know each other's moves so good. And we back each other up 100%. So, and
Well, you know, you go like this right here, dude. You know, over the years, our business has changed. Nowadays, it just to speak to you truthfully, it's high spot city. It's who can do the better high spot.
Right.
But nowadays, all of them are getting along. You know, you watch a TV show and just sometimes you never even think about this. Watch and just count how many super kicks you'll see a night. All right. So many times you see somebody dive out of the ring. You know, it's nothing new no more. Robert and I worked as a tag team unit. We didn't try to outdo each other. What we tried to do was, in our business, is to tell that story. And see, that's still there. That's what our business is missing. And you were telling me about the young tag teams. You know, I have a wrestling school called the School of Morton. Robert has a wrestling school too. But we try to teach the kid the psychology of our business. That it's not about if my drop kick looks good. It's not about that. What our business is really about, and it's lost, is about putting butts in seats.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about. You notice all the ratings are starting to go down on TV. You know, the guys are, you know, especially like in Impact and them. Because another thing too is, you know, they bring guys that Vince has already got rid of. And I'm not trying to be mean. Robert and I were at a special time, like you said, a special place, and we got paid by how many butts we put in the chairs, in the seats. The tag teams nowadays, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're great. I mean, gosh, I mean, they're unbelievable tag teams, but man, they need to learn the psychology of our business. That's the only thing that stand out.
Right.
Except for Matt and Jeff Hardy, I think they're wonderful. I think they're great.
I love those guys too.
Yes.
But, and you know, that's something I led off with, the psychology. Is that the main thing y'all think is missing or different?
that's probably the hardest thing to learn.
Yes, it's missing. And I don't call it that, I call it the magic.
The
When
magic.
you learn that magic.
I like that.
And our business is unbelievable. But see, a lot of guys don't.
Some guys never get it.
You know, I talk I do a lot of seminars, and I try to talk to them to make them understand that this is what we are, this is what we do, and please, but see, and then you meet people that think they know everything about our business, but then they don't know nothing.
Right.
And it's really, especially when they try to tell, Ken, what I'm looking at, dude, where you coming from,
I know Caleb wanted to talk to you guys about territories and A squad versus a B squad, and I actually watched a previous interview that you did, Ricky, where you talked about that, how the B squad was outselling the A squad on a lot of these shows. But go ahead with.
Okay.
I believe it was back in Jim Crockett Promotions, and one of the things I was looking at about it is, you see a lot these days of, especially with the guys on TV, of people complaining about, hey, the guy that I like isn't who's being pushed by the company or whatnot, but that's not actually anything new to the business. That was going on back in Jim Crockett with you guys, where they had, you guys were supposedly on the B team, but you were out selling the A team shows. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, for you want,
Go ahead.
you had an A and a B team, but see, you had so many guys in the territory that, and some of the greatest workers ever in our business.
They were running 2 shows a night.
Yeah, they run, boom. See what we did? We came in, they ran Greenville every Monday night, and they ran Fayetteville, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, Fayetteville, every Monday night. Okay, so you had 2 towns, but then when it come to, it wasn't a part of that, I really say the A team and the B team. Well, the A team, you had Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, and all them guys. And then, but see, what made it successful is that we were something new in the business. Right place, right time, greatest angles in the world with the Andersons, with the Russians, with the Midnight Express, and see, that match alone sold by itself.
Right.
We didn't need, when you're underneath the card, and don't get me wrong, it was great when you got George South against Manny Fernandez, which Manny was a top wrestler, but in George is too. But I'm just saying, but in Baltimore, they'd have Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, Arn Anderson, and all of them up there. Then ours, it'd be that. But see, it was just a different, because Robert and I, like I said, right place at right time. Our match alone could carry a whole show. Nowadays, you got to give everybody a variety of matches. If you watch WrestleMania, it's not just Hunter Hensley against somebody. They got, every match is something that's special.
Stacked from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, you see, and that was the difference in it. That we, in which we did good business, right place at the right time. Robert and I, at the time, because nowadays they done built new buildings and new auditoriums and everything. There's so many, we broke attendant record. It's something when they come and tell you, say, man, you just broke Elvis Presley's record for attendance. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
But at the time too, you didn't have all the fire martial laws. You didn't have all this stuff. I have a saying I used to say to be hanging off the rafters, and that was true. Dude, I've seen people, because they didn't have fire marshal. They wasn't street people be sitting out on the rafters on top of there. So many people, hot buildings, half of them wasn't air conditioned, and gosh, it was a time, man, that I could never explain to the boys in our business today. It was a time that nobody could ever understand how great and how good our business was.
Would you say that that's one of the biggest difference between kind of the old territories and the indies today, is sort of the way it's structured like that, or the way that they put the card together, selling it?
Well, see that basically when you put the cards together, guy, you got to have a TV show, and you got to have a TV show that comes on every week. That's prime time. Nowadays it's not about territories; it's about just independent promoters running it, and it's hard. I've seen guys, especially on independent. Gosh, man, they'd be at 200 miles away from the other ones, and they're on the microphone talking about something that happened 200 miles away, and the people in the crowd are going, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Right.
That's what they don't understand. If you shoot an in-house angle that you're coming back in 2 weeks, I can understand that. To me, the difference we shot an angle is to draw money. You know, now, and if the guys would only understand this, when the crowd comes, make them happy. You gotta make them mad, but then make them happy. And then they always come back and see you. I see some of the craziest finishes in my life. And I'm thinking, I mean, who's the rocket scientist that thought of this finish? Because it's hard.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, you stop and think about this. The simpler it is, the better the people understand it. And the better they understand it, they know what's going on. So when you get on the microphone and do an interview, they know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, that's my version. That's, I might not always be right, but I'm never wrong. No, I'm just kidding. My wife tells me that all the time. She just taught me to go ahead.
Well, Joe, I know you were earlier. You were asking about like their favorite opponents and things like that. So
That's what I was
we can
gonna
go
ask.
into that. So,
Yeah. Who brought out the best in you guys?
But he wasn't a part of that. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you, our business was a very, very, very sacred business at that time and place. And if you were not a good, like today, everybody I meet's Russ. Everybody I meet. But in our day, if you didn't have it, you wasn't in our business. And the guys didn't know nothing about our business. Even the guys that you see getting beat up on TV, they were great workers. That was their job. Do you understand? It's not who brought the best out of you. Man, I enjoyed wrestling Ivan and Barry Dorso as much as I did the Andersons.
Okay.
I enjoy because you see everything's every angle's different. Everything about it's different, but if it's done right, and I got to say that for Dusty. Dusty was a genius. I didn't always get along with him,
Right.
but buddy was he a genius when it come to putting angles together. And then at the time, with me especially, I try to study what he wanted. I wanted the people to understand. You see, that's what makes our business hard is when you have a booker. He has something in his mind that he knows it's going to draw. That's the reason a lot of times back then the bookers did everything, because they know what they wanted to do, how to get it over. They knew how within their mind. But it was hard to find a few people to understand what he was doing. But Dusty would set you down and make you understand where you're going with this. And I like that about Dusty. Like you said, I didn't always get along with him.
Right.
But, Dusty was for Dusty. But he made all of us, the Arn and Tubby, look at the Four Horsemen. You'd work with Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, or you'd work with Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson, or you'd work with Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. You see, all of them were great. All of them, just the crowd behind us in the sold-out arenas that we knew that our angle got on, and that's what brought the best of us out.
Gotcha.
Robert,
Take a
show
rock
up.
and roll express bandana.
This is an Alice Cooper bandana, so close.
I love Alice.
Right?
Check this out, man. Slash.
Slash.
That'll work.
Yeah, man, I'm a rock and roller.
And if you guys look, go back and look. I didn't wear this just for y'all. I've been wearing this wore a bandana on his right wrist for every interview.
Yeah.
Long before we ever knew we'd get a chance to interview you guys.
Oh, man, that's cool. That's
So-
a great compliment.
So
Thank you.
I hope you don't think I'm kissing butt. This is
That's
legit.
cool. That's cool.
I got real love for you guys.
Man, that's good. I like it.
Seriously.
Dude, I mean,
When you was playing Robert Gibson, you never got beat, did you?
Never.
no.
I had to save my best friend Brian, who was taking all the bumps.
Yeah.
Right? Hot tag coming in.
Okay.
So,
Well, see, that's another thing that you was asking me earlier. See, I knew my job was that ring. My job was to sell and give Robert a hot
there
tag.
you go.
And it worked every time. And then, like when them days we'd go into independent shows, the guy goes, "What hot spots you want to do?" Dude, I don't do hot spots. I sell, I give Robert a hot tag. That's what I do,
Right.
I can do that, but why? Because, and if you notice, I go out and watch the matches. It's not that, I go out and watch to see what everybody's doing, because I don't want to go out and repeat. That's one thing about Robert and I, one thing that especially do, and I learned this from the man himself, the one I got a PhD from, Ric Flair, is to give the people the money's worth. And I'm serious, even if there's 10 people or 10,000,
Okay.
give them their money's worth and they'll come back. That's what makes our business so great.
you said in another interview that if it was only 10 people, you worked twice as hard to make sure it was more than that next time.
Oh, yes, it sure does, because it's what, it's what it's about.
Right.
A lot of guys, and the experience, and if you guys out there get a chance, and I'm out here, I'm not trying to preach, or I'm not trying to make a dollar to you, where we're saying you were wrestling, tell them you're.
All Pro Championship Wrestling, Douglasville, Georgia.
Yeah, outside of Douglasville, Georgia. Yeah, and I'm in East Tennessee, right below Johnson City, Tennessee, and we're not here. Guys, what we want to do is, we're tired of coming to shows and go out and watch a match and you have to hide because you're embarrassed. And it's not your fault, but you need to learn our business.
Right.
Come to our schools where we can teach you, not to teach you to be better than what you are. Because when your girlfriend tells you you're great and you got 2 people in the crowd, which one's, what is it? And if I tell you, and if I say something to you, it's not to be to disrespect you or make you feel bad. I'm just telling you the truth. So if you ever ask me to watch your match, be ready for the truth, because if it's horrible, I'm going to tell you it's horrible. But I can tell you what will make it better.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool, man.
I know you guys got to go. We were going to ask you about day-to-day life. You've just covered that. Anything else you guys want to plug, whether it's your schools or any promotions or anything else that you may be working on?
Well, check us out on anything. You got Robert Gibson Facebook. You got Ricky Morton Facebook. Twitter, Real Ricky Morton. Tweet, and and my School of Morton.
School of Morton.
Check us out, man.
Robert, what's the name of your school again?
It's called All Pro Championship Wrestling.
All Pro Championship. And we're actually from Augusta, Georgia, so we're a little bit closer to you than where we are right now here at Continental Championship Wrestling.
Y'all didn't go check this place out.
I think we'll do that.
And if you're ever in East Tennessee, come and check. My school's a museum too. I kept everything for 40 years. All right. Cool, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it.
See you, bud.
Thank you, Robert.
Great.
Cut this off. Can we
Thank
get
you,
it?
buddy.
One,